Daf Yomi, Tractate Bava, page 108. A, top of the page with the word Zubo, Edim, Aka, Maisa, etc. A witness has come and testify with regard to his first claim that at the time he took an oath that the deposit had been stolen, it was actually in his possession. And he admits with regard to his second claim that it had been a lie and that it had not actually been lost. What is the halacha? Is he obligated to pay the additional 1/5 payment? The Gemara explains the two possibilities. Is it being obligated in a monetary obligation that renders him liable for double payment, which exempts him from the additional 1/5 payment, and in this case he is liable for the double payment for the deposit due to the witness testimony and would therefore be exempt from the additional 1/5 payment? Or perhaps is it admitting to a false oath that renders him liable for double payment, which exempts him from the additional 1/5 payment? And with regard to this later oath, that the item was lost, since it does not render him liable for the double payment, as he took an oath that it had been lost, not stolen, will render him liable for the additional 1/5 payment. Rava said, come and hear a solution to this dilemma from a Mishnah in Shavuot 49b, in a scenario where one said to someone from the marketplace, "Where is my ox that you stole?" And the accused says in response, "I did not steal it." Whereupon the owner of the ox said, "I administer an oath to you." And the accused said, "Amen," accepting the oath. And the witnesses testify about the accused that he stole it. He must pay double payment. And if he admitted of his own accord that he stole it, then he must pay the principal and the additional 1/5 payment and bring a guilt offering. Rava explains the proof, but here it is witnesses who render him liable for the double payment, as since the accused was not a bailee, the oath does not render him liable, and yet the Mishnah teaches that if he admitted of his own accord that he stole it, then yes, he must pay the additional 1/5 payment. But if he admitted after witnesses testified, then no, he is not required to pay the additional 1/5. Rava continues, and if it enters your mind to say that it is an oath that renders him liable for double payment, which exempts him from the additional 1/5 payment, why does he not pay the additional 1/5 payment if he admitted that it was a false oath after witnesses testified? After all, this oath does not render him liable to pay the double payment, as the halacha that one who falsely takes an oath that the item was stolen pays double payment applies only in the case of a bailee. Therefore, the oath should render him liable to pay the additional 1/5 payment, as does any false oath taken with regard to a monetary claim. Rava completes the proof. Rather, must one not conclude from this Mishnah that it is the monetary obligation that renders him liable to pay the double payment, which exempts him from the additional 1/5 payment? The Gemara affirms, conclude from the Mishnah that the additional 1/5 payment is dependent upon the type of monetary obligation and not an oath, resolving Rami Bar Chama's dilemma. Concerning the additional 1/5 payment, Ravina raises a dilemma. If the additional 1/5 payment and the double payment are split among two men, what is the halacha? The Gemara explains the dilemma. What are the circumstances? This is referring to a case where one transferred his ox to two people to safeguard, and they stated a claim that a thief stole it from them. One of them took an oath that it had been stolen and subsequently admitted of his own accord that he had lied. And one of them took an oath that it had been stolen, and subsequently witnesses came and testified that he had lied. What is the halacha in this case? Ravina clarifies the possibilities. Do we say that the merciful one is particular with regard to one man, that he does not pay both the additional 1/5 payment and the double payment, whereas in this case, this one about whom the witnesses testified will pay the double payment, and that one who admitted of his own accord will pay the additional 1/5 payment? Or perhaps the merciful one is particular that the additional 1/5 payment and the double payment will not be paid for one monetary obligation, and here too it is one monetary obligation. The Gemara comments, Teku, the dilemma shall stand unresolved. And this is the, let's see here, Gem 134. Let's see if it's the 134th Teku. 134th Teku was found in Bava 96a. So I'm guessing it's probably the 135th. Let's see here. No. Gem 135. The 135th Teku. I think it's the 135th Teku, yeah. Very interesting. Wow. It's also the Nispar of Shlach na biat Shlach. Wow. This is deep stuff. I'm sorry. It's very deep. I'm not sorry, but whatever. Dude. Highly judicial. Highly radical. Yeah. Okay, we're in the 135th Teku. Okay, in Shas, in Talmud Bavli. Ravina clarifies the possibilities. Do we say... Oh yeah, oh no, we went to... Okay. By Rav Papa, concerning the additional 1/5 payment, Rav Papa raises a dilemma. Dude... You can do it. Raises a dilemma. And bachenadut a dilemma. Oh, maybe not. Do two parts. We'll do two parts to. Rav Papa raises an bachenadut dilemma in a case of two additional 1/5 payments or two double payments with regard to one man. What is the halacha? Must he pay twice for the same monetary obligation? The Gemara explains what are the circumstances. This is referring to a case where one stated the claim that the deposit was lost and took an oath, and then admitted that it was not lost, and returned and again stated the claim that the same deposit was lost and took another oath supporting this claim, and again admitted that it was not lost. Alternatively, this is referring to a case where one stated the claim that a thief stole the deposit and took an oath, and then witnesses came and testified that he had taken it and he had returned, and again stated the claim that a thief stole the same deposit and again took an oath, and then witnesses came and again testified that he had taken it. What is the halacha? Rav Papa says... Rav Papa clarifies the possibility. Do we say that the merciful one states concerning two types of monetary restitution, for example, double payment and the additional 1/5 payment, that they will not be paid for one monetary obligation, but here it is only one type, merely doubled? Or perhaps the merciful one states concerning two payments of monetary restitution that they will not be paid for one monetary obligation. And here too, there are two payments of monetary restitution, whether in the case of two additional 1/5 payments or two double payments. The Gemara suggests a resolution to Rav Papa's dilemma coming here. As Rava says, the verse states, or anything about which he has sworn falsely, he shall restore it in full, and shall add the fifth part more thereto. Leviticus 5:24. By employing a plural term, chamishitav, and not the singular chamishito, the Torah added many additional 1/5 for one principle, meaning that one can become obligated in multiple 1/5 payments for the same principle. The Gemara affirms, conclude from Rava's statement, that this is the halakha. The Gemara discusses an Amoraic dispute concerning a similar case. If an owner demanded of an unpaid bailee that he return a deposit, and he claimed that it had been stolen from him, and he took an oath to that effect, and despite being exempt from payment, he paid of his own volition, and subsequently the thief was identified, to whom is double payment paid? The owner of the bailee, the owner or the bailee? The Abaya says, to the owner of the deposit. Rava says, to the one in whose possession the deposit was when it was stolen. In other words, the bailee. The Gemara explains their opinions. Abaya says that the double payment is paid to the owner of the deposit, since the bailee troubled him by taking an oath instead of paying immediately. The owner is not willing to grant acquisition of the double payment to the bailee, so it is paid to the owner. Rava says that the double payment is paid to the one in whose possession the deposit was when it was stolen. Once he paid, the owner grants acquisition of the double payment to the bailee. The Gemara explains, and they disagree with regard to the deductive inference to be drawn from the wording of the Mishnah, as we learned in the Mishnah above in Sia 33b, in the case of one who deposits with another, that is an unpaid bailee, an animal or vessels, and they were stolen or lost, and the bailee paid the owner and did not wish to take an oath, which he may decide to do, as the sages said that an unpaid bailee takes an oath, that he's exempt and he's released from the obligation to pay the owner, but may also opt to pay. In such a case, the halakha is that if the thief was found, he pays double payment, or if the deposit item was a sheep or an ox, and the thief slaughtered or sold it, he pays a fourfold or fivefold payment. To whom does the thief pay those payments? He pays them to the one in whose possession the deposit was when it was stolen or lost. When the bailee paid the owner for the stolen item, he acquired it and therefore is entitled to any payment of principal or fine paid by the thief. We'll stop here for now.